Open Your Eyes is brought to you by the Belize Bank, our country, your bank, and Smart, bringing people together.
Good morning and welcome to Open Your Eyes.
Start your morning right.
I'm Sabrina Daly.
And I am Isani Keretano. Good morning.
And good morning, Isani.
Good morning, Sab. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. It's a little bit of a gloomy Wednesday morning here in the city. I know some people were talking earlier saying that there were some showers of blessing early this morning, at least through Ladyville coming. Okay. The streets were wet.
Last night, me brutally hot in Belize City.
Oh,
I'll tell you that much.
Well, I know you had the
really
AC to pump. Nope, I'm kidding. But yeah, it's a little bit of a gloomy morning here. And so for the folks getting ready and starting their morning right with us, you might want to grab an extra layer just to protect you from the rains, but also be mindful that it could really just switch up in just about a few minutes and get hot, as Isani mentioned, as last night was here in the city. How you doing?
Man, I'm good. It's Wednesday. It's the first Wednesday in the month of August.
Yes, you're right.
Now I get the feeling that summer is whizzing by quickly, right? When we just did a June the other day and the kids were out, you know, finally done from the last semester of school in that previous school year. Now they gear up for the new one, and it's happening so quickly.
I don't get to talk to you often enough on the morning show, but how is summering going for you as a parent? We're about halfway through, right?
Yes. So for me, you know, we've transitioned from summer school to swimming lessons.
Is it fun now?
For my son, yeah. Because the whole school part is behind him, right?
Yes.
So we're looking forward to swimming lessons. We began that Monday, right? And so we're going to be doing that for the next 3 weeks. So it keeps him active. It keeps him, you know, outdoors for the most part. And I could only reminisce on my childhood. We used to do the same things too, right? Just that I used to climb tree and do different little things and afterward wear summer school part.
You have to make little Isani climb some tree too. I mean, what?
Not in Belize City, like, you know, growing up in an urban environment, completely different than growing up, you know, in towns and villages where you could run wild and stuff like that. Not that Belize City.
For sure.
It's not this time of, you know, not in this generation.
Yeah. And even this generation, they're not really taking, well, the last generation before us, they weren't really taking swimming classes. They would dash to the river and they jump the pond, you know?
Butcher Burns and places like that.
That's a whole other topic for another day. I'm just glad to get a bit of an update on your side. And anyone else tuning in at this time, parents especially, let us know what your summer is going like. As Isani mentioned, we are in the first Wednesday of August. What's it like for you guys right now? Let us know. But in the meantime, I'm going to send you guys over here with me as I outline the topics of discussion this morning. We'll be having some guests on, and the first one we're expecting is a conversation about the controversial BTL vote that took place yesterday. We'll be joined by representatives of the trade unions. After that, it's all about back to school relief, and while I know families are enjoying the summer break, some of those families are preparing for back to school. And an important topic in that discussion is the Belize Tax Service Department bringing and breaking down tax-free days. Then after that, empowering through inclusion, BCVI'S Summer Camp for blind and low vision youth. And then we'll be wrapping things up with a conversation about our national animal, the Belize Tapir project's conservation efforts. I'll send things over to Isani now.
Great job, Sab. All right, guys, here are the 5 things you want to know this morning before you leave your homes for work, or if you're just waking up, these are the things you want to know. All right, so as Sabrina mentioned, the BTL Board of Directors voted 8-2 yesterday to proceed with the acquisition of SpeedNet. So that's a brief conversation we're going to have. And then missing fisherman Samuel Che is found dead at sea. The Belize Police Department also warns about a fraudulent traffic violation notice. And Guatemala's volcano erupted yesterday, sending lava spewing into the air. And lastly, KTV was last night. We had Latino night, we had 310s, but we're going to get into that conversation as well. Sab?
Alrighty, Asani, thank you very much for those topics. I know that there are several things that we could jump into at this time, but we decided to narrow things down with those 5, giving you guys an opportunity to share your thoughts on different matters involving the country and, of course, even an international topic as well. Before I jump into the conversation, I want to give a quick shout out and good morning to the folks trickling in. I see April logging on. Samson Jacobs, good morning to you. Michelle Sampson, good morning. She also said Buiti Binafi. Esther Courtney Weatherburn, good morning to you. Francisca Madrid, and everyone else coming in at this time. Michelle said, that is true, Sani. I grew up in Dangriga, and in summertime with mango trees in full bloom, money was in heaven. All right. Well, let's jump into the topic. I know the headline discussion and really what everyone was talking about yesterday was the controversial board meeting that took place at the BTL headquarters here in Belize City. You would know, Isani, that this was a topic that was extensively covered for the better part of earlier this year.
Yes.
There were so many discussions regarding it. I remember even on Fridays, we would be having calls coming in, people sharing their thoughts on the idea of a monopoly and what that would mean, the potential possibility of people losing their jobs if this crossover takes place. And as far as I can remember, there was a request for more sit-downs with the public for people to understand. Consultations is the word I'm looking for more consultations to take place. But it took a lot of people by surprise when the board meeting was announced and a vote was subsequently produced.
I think from a news perspective, the fact that we sort of transitioned away from BTL and moved on to other things that were in the public eye, kind of shifted focus away from what was happening. So when this issue of the proposed acquisition came back around, as you mentioned, it probably caught a lot of people by surprise, right? But it's not as if though the issue itself disappeared altogether. We knew that at some point this issue would rear its head once again, right? Now, you're right in saying that earlier this year, we spent a lot of time dissecting this entire proposed acquisition, right? What's in it for the Belizean people in terms of those of us who, are customers of both companies, right? And the idea that for many, there is this belief that what is going to take place is actually a monopoly where there's no other competition in a market that's already small. So yeah, we covered that extensively in the first round. And I said first round because we are start again until the PUC decides what's going to happen with this proposed merger, right? So what happened yesterday, there was a board meeting held at BTL's headquarters on St. Thomas Street, and of all the members who comprised BTL's board of directors, there was a vote of 8-2. Now I understand that the meeting was chaired by BTL chairman Mark Lizarraga virtually, right? And I also understand that there was another board member who attended virtually, right? She's also out of the country, but she saw it fit to participate in this important but controversial vote nonetheless, right? And the split was 8-2. Now, what is interesting and
6-2?
8-2.
8-2.
That's the split.
Yes.
Right? Now, we're going to get into more details of it from the unions when they come on set a little later on in the show. But the idea here is that in the thick of things in the first round, former SSB chair Chandra Cancino wasn't with the whole idea of this.
She immediately distanced herself.
Proposed acquisition. So as a matter of fact, she stepped down. She had resigned from her post there. And subsequent to that, someone else stepped up, right? This is Dr. Cherie Craig. And the Social Security Board has 3 seats on the BTL Board of Directors, right? So you could understand how important this is to SSB. They're literally invested in BTL. And so that's where a lot of people, a lot of us placed our focus, right? What's going to happen with those 3 votes, in a sense? And from what we know now, at least one person from the union side decided that, you know what, she's not going to vote in favor of this proposed acquisition. So we know that, and I guess Dean Flowers will expand on that a little later. Right, but in the broad view of things, the opposition party is now back in the fray as well, right? If you saw what happened yesterday, within the space of a few hours, you know, opposition leader Tracy Panton showed up at BTL's headquarters.
She rallied some members.
Yeah, you know, she took up residence in a manner of speaking in front of the signature.
I saw clips of Yellow Man. They say he did pay Billy Sani. He list out the phone number. So what are the bill price for pay?
Good. So then along with that, almost like I said, in tandem, there was a walkout at the Senate. So there's all of these things. And then the Belizean people were watching, right? Not many of us were able to go out there yesterday and you know, engage with the protests and whatever. It was a bit ad hoc. But Belizean people are watching because this thing come full circle once again. And here we are having this discussion as to what is this going to mean. For the investors, they're looking at market share and you know, being able to get more out of what they're putting in, so to speak. For Belizean people, the average person like myself, like you, who subscribe to these services, is it going to be cheaper, better, more efficient? Those are our basic questions. We don't have to worry about nothing else. If that's the case, I want to know that my phone, I could anyway part of Belize and I got quality service. I could know that, you know what, I'm not paying through the roof for services that elsewhere in the world are not as high. Things like that, that's what I think about. Right? Those are my concerns. And I think for the average person, they're also looking at that as well.
Among other topics as well. I really quickly want to highlight the statement that was issued yesterday by Digi. They put out a statement headlining it, BTL highlights national benefits of proposed SpeedNet acquisition. Within that document, I think a line for me that stands out is that it says, importantly, the transaction will not require borrowing by BTL and will not require additional investment from the Social Security Board. The investment is to be repaid from SpeedNet's own operating cash flows. Based on current projections, the investment of $80 million has an estimated payback period of approximately 4.2 years on a discounted basis. And so this was just one part of the statement that was issued there, perhaps to try to ease concerns that might be coming forward, since this was a topic that was kind of dormant for a minute.
So in a direct quote from Dr. Sherry Smiling Craig, she also reiterated the point that SSB won't be putting more monies at this point into it. It's a matter of being able to, as I mentioned earlier, look at the size of the investment and where they go from here. Right? So that's where they are at the moment.
I'll be honest with you, though. I don't think that that's exactly a concern of the people if more money will be pumped into this investment. I think people in general just feel like it's not transparent enough, especially because of the size or the amounts that is being invested. And ultimately, going back to the consultation topic, people felt that they should have been considered and perhaps given more of an opportunity to contribute.
And I'll say this, and then we'll move on, and I'm going to poke the bear a little bit here, right? You see how fast the unions react yesterday. You see how fast the unions were able to mobilize yesterday. In the face of the entire procurement scandal that they've been fairly dormant and quiet about. And I put that there because it's a conversation we could have a little later on in the show as well when we have both union reps on the couch with us. But to me, it's very obvious, night and day, what triggers certain reaction and responses from the labor movement, right? But we're going to move on. The body of Samuel Che was found yesterday morning. And for people who may not have been following this thing and you're new to what's taking place, 2 young men set out from Key Carker shortly before 7 p.m. on Sunday night. They contacted their loved ones and said, hey, we're coming home, we're getting in the boat and we're setting off to the mainland, which is here in Belize City. Well, they never quite arrived, right? Something happened at sea. We don't know at this point what transpired, but Albert Vaccaro and Samuel Chi ended up adrift. Not on their vessel.
Separated from their vessel as well.
Adrift at sea, right? Fortunately, Mr. Vaccaro was rescued by a Coast Guard search party. When he was found, he was severely dehydrated, and this is after several hours out at sea. They could not locate the vessel, but they continued to search for Samuel Chi. And I can only imagine for a family member, a friend, a loved one, not knowing where your loved one is and what circumstances would have befallen him. So yesterday morning, the team was able to recover the body of Samuel Chi. And, you know, it brought to a tragic and very sad end this entire ordeal. For the Chi family, I saw a picture where Samuel had 2 kids and his wife, right? And now those 2 kids are going to grow up without a father. And then the wife is now widowed, right? But these are, from what I understand, people who, or men who enjoyed fishing. But I was also made to understand that the vessel that they set out to sea with may not have been the appropriate boat
so they were
for
taking
that kind
a
of
risk.
activity, right? But there are so many questions that are unanswered.
Yeah.
We're gonna see. When they were able to rescue Mr. Vaccaro, he was basically, as we would describe it, discombobulated, right?
This is the boat that they
vessel.
went.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is the boat, right? So he was discombobulated, couldn't really give an account of what happened or whatsoever because of the state that he was in, severely dehydrated and being out there in the elements, right? So they have to know, the investigators that is, have to wait until he has recovered enough to be able to explain to them what took place, right? Until then, this thing remains a mystery.
Yeah.
We don't know if they were attacked at sea. We don't know if they have had mechanical issues. We don't know what happened. Suffice to say that one person was rescued and another one was found dead.
Yeah, it's a really sad situation for, I think, all persons involved. One, I imagine Mr. Vaccaro and Mr. Chi had some type of friendship or relationship to be able to go out and pursue their work or their catch at sea. Beyond that, though, I think of the families involved. As you rightly mentioned, Mr. Chi now leaves behind a widow and children without a father, and still a lot of questions to be answered. And ultimately, now they have to rely on Mr. Vaccaro coming to his memory and
his account of what took place.
Exactly, right? And hoping that that could bring some type of relief to the family, although I imagine there's no answer that will be able to comfort the loss of a father and someone like him.
Yeah.
But let's move things along, Isani. Yesterday, I got a text message. And I was a little bit frightened. Not completely, but just a little bit, right? So I got a text message now. I'm putting on my business now. And the message said it was at 11:11. Ooh, there you go. Traffic violation notice, Belize Police Department. Notice number, it gave a notice number. This is the message right there, yes. And it said that the type of it was a speeding violation of the Motor Vehicles and Road Traffic Act. Date July 29th, recorded speed 57 kilometers, speed limit 50. Then it said my vehicle was identified as having committed a traffic violation by the automated enforcement system. I'm trying to wonder where exactly that system would have been. And the notice said to please visit their online platform, and of course they issued a website at the bottom. So I'm a concern because one, me done afraid. Me no want commit no crime, Isani. I need one parking ticket, right? So I had to try think to myself, okay, July 29th, where was I? Was I speeding? I know Sunday I'm in the drive leave fast to try to get the church on time, but Wednesday I was parked at a mechanic. So I couldn't make sense of the situation. And then I found out that other people were getting the same text message, identical. So a lot of people made a speed July 29th.
You know why they laugh? And I hate to make light of the situation. It's just the first thing that comes to my mind.
You think we so gullible, Joe?
You know what's the song of the summer? Mm-hmm. Song of the summer is from Carisha. Spend It, right?
Oh yeah,
Talking about all this coming. Come on, that's the first thing I put to my mind, right? And so the fact that many Belizeans have fallen for this thing.
Yeah, I didn't click the link though. At least.
My first question is, what we step up the game? Police department step up their game so fast that they could do all of that thing and send you personally or a text message to tell you you violate traffic.
Yeah.
I don't know, so I'm very suspicious, right? I never get a thing.
Yeah.
Right? But here's what's funny. A colleague of ours got the same message and he's a pedestrian.
Yes, he didn't have a vehicle. That killed it when he said that. I was like, okay, there's still flaws to this one. Then if you regroup or re-strategize.
Man, they get ticket for violating traffic law.
I thought that was hilarious. But yeah, there was a statement issued by
a serious one. So let's make we get serious now and
Yes.
talk about what the police department they, say to counteract this thing.
Yeah, so they're essentially just saying that this is false, this is fake, and to report it if you are receiving any type of messages of this matter to verify with the official departments. And of course, if you know that you were not speeding in any way, then obviously there's a high possibility that this is fake. I think for me more, Isani, it's saddening to see that there are new ways that scammers are coming up with to try to get people that are a bit more gullible regarding this matter.
That's like someone contacting you by email or your inbox to tell you that you've won $1 million, let's say.
Yeah.
But you know you never purchased a ticket for no kind of prize, right? But they're asking you that in order to retrieve this $1 million, you have to send X amount of money.
And just click
and in
the
your
link.
mind, you're thinking, wow, I could be a millionaire. So
Yeah.
here
But
goes the $300, wire it, and then you realize it's all a scam.
But I think in this case, what could get people is, the warning that there could be a ticket involved,
because it carries a more serious tone.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
The language and the way how it's worded carries a more serious tone.
Exactly. So I wasn't, I didn't click the link to see what the website looked like, but apparently the Belize Police Department, they said they're working to remove the website.
Yeah.
I know better than that. I know to click no link with me no know about, but
neither for the $1 million.
yeah,
right?
and if $1 million, I want to work hard to get it. But just for other people who might have received this text message, just take caution. It's not real. And for anyone else who might be receiving it in the future, just take caution as well. Don't click the link. Don't send money to whoever is asking for anything. And of course, if you want to verify, just call the Belize Police Department or the Traffic Department.
That's how a policeman or a traffic man have to give me the ticket in my hand.
In your hand, Joe.
Or I have to find it on a vehicle or something like that.
When I got some people, it's sounding like drive and left the traffic officer when they write the ticket.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming they must see me the speed pass, and say, oh, Dali Sabrina Daly, you want to write this and send you a text message.
The village.
Village or wherever. I don't know.
All right,
Anyways,
let's move along.
Let's jump into. Okay, so Bart Sanchez says here, Belizeans need to stop getting jumpy easily. First of all, police doesn't have radar guns to clock anyone's speed, and
that's what I was saying. They can't move up that technology so fast. That's what I was saying.
System they got how they know that I'm at the speed so. But thank God, like I said, I wasn't even driving around on Wednesday, so that helped my
We're in a
conscience.
slightly different direction. Have you ever seen a breathalyzer used in Belize?
No, but I know that we have.
So now, have you ever seen a radar gun being used in Belize?
No, neither.
So these are some of the basic questions that one should ask, right? Maybe one would say, you know what? I know the old district or on the highway like that for seat being used, so it kind of iffy.
Yeah.
And if you're iffy about something, that should immediately raise a red flag.
Crazy part is we work in the business and news. We would know if they're up on the run, but me get frightened quick. I said, I must have missed that. All right, let's jump into.
Let's go to Guatemala.
Yeah, just very close to us in the West, we understand that Guatemala, as of Monday, reported a major volcanic eruption. I believe it's called Volcano Fuego, erupted, and there has been, a lot of reports coming out of persons being displaced. Apparently, Volcan Fuego is about 31 miles southwest of the capital city, and it is still at this time spewing lava and plumes of ash since Monday. It has prompted evacuation of almost 1,700 people, according to their officials reporting. And of course, with this, there are many people who could lose their lives, who could lose their properties as a result. And so if you know of anyone at this time who lives in that region, definitely reach out to them to ensure that everything is okay with them, that they're safe. I also understand that more than 29,000 people have been affected by the ash as well. So even if the lava does not affect your property, the ash as well, as you would see there, that thick smoke, people have to breathe air. And so that's a result of that as well, persons being affected. But we're following this. We know that Guatemala is very close to us. You could literally cross by land. And so we continue to monitor these reports. But Asani, we want to close things off on a little bit of music talk. And I don't know if you were locked in on KTV, the remix, last night. But last night was Latin night. And it was also our first night that we saw a group performance as well. It was also the first night that one person was eliminated via battle round. So we know that...
And it was also the first night, if I'm not mistaken, that 3 contestants scored perfect 10s.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Indeed. Last night the judges were generous with their voting. We also had a guest judge as well, Roxy from Super Furia, made her presence last night, and that was exciting. She just have an amazing energy.
The costumes are on 10, even Tremet Swan, right?
You take the words out of my mouth, Isani. When I saw Tremet last night, I had to take a double take. Like Tremet, when
that man usually bald like me.
When you get lens,
full head of hair.
I'm telling you, I love it though. I think that's one of the things I look forward to as well. Every week, the creativity from William. He come out with different, themes
and, you have to get into
outfits.
The vibe and the spirit of it,
right? And since that's what they're doing, I'm looking forward to what happen next week, because next week the alternative rap. So I want to see if one got some black fingernail polish, some eyeliner, some mohawks.
But here's the thing, right? As much as the music and the performances go by genre, it's also a theme show in a sense.
Yeah.
Because you have to be able to dress the part and deliver on the music itself. Because dip on stage to sing something, but you don't look the part.
Yeah.
Right?
Especially kind of like storytelling, right?
Yeah, so if you, for argument's sake, we're doing country and western, you want to put on your cowboy boots, you want to put on your denim and your hat, right?
Yeah.
It matches the whole aesthetic.
Absolutely.
Right?
Well, I'm excited to see Trevet make alternative rock country, because he came out in his country attire for Latino night too. But it was a good night. I know that Latino music is a little bit like a niche area. Like you have people who love it because they understand the language, and then you got people who love it just kind of love the vibes.
But by and large, Belizeans do love Latin music.
Exactly. So I say all that to say that, the Bliss still brought out its crowd for people who appreciated the genre, and ultimately who just came to support their favorite contestant. But as we always say every week, you gotta vote to keep them in. They are battling now to stay in the competition. So I think the stakes are even higher than ever, as I always say. We know that last night Tamika had to battle it out with Wendy. And Tamika is one of the stronger performers. And I say stronger because she has been able to rack up a lot of 10s throughout the course of the competition so far.
And she came out on top in that battle round.
Exactly. She came out on top, which saw Wendy going home. Wendy also spoke about the stress of the competition. She said she happy to go home because, this harder than she think. And I actually appreciate the honesty, Isani, because it's a competition and you have to work to stay in the competition.
Because getting to that $10,000 prize is no easy feat.
Yeah, exactly. It's not going to be given to you. And so ultimately, as we said, Wendy went home, but we still wish her nothing but the best. We want to also have people know that not because a person is eliminated means that their story ends there.
Yeah.
They can come back. They can continue performing online. They can still get gigs.
Sharpen their skills.
Exactly. We send best wishes to everyone still on the show and those who are going to be eliminated, inevitably. But that does it for our 5 things, the topics we think you should know before you leave your homes this morning. We thank everyone who has contributed to the conversation so far, and we encourage you guys to stay locked in and continue talking with us because we'll be taking our first break. But when we come back, we're going to jump right back in the hot button topic, Isani, of that controversial BTL vote. Get your questions ready, get your thoughts ready to contribute. We'll be right back.
Connected in the USA for as low as $10. With Smart Roaming Data Pass, staying connected is simple and affordable. Get the data you need starting at 1,000 megabytes to stay connected to larger plans that keep you online while you travel across the USA. So you can message, browse, video call, and navigate wherever you go. No SIM swap, no bill shock. Just simple, affordable pricing. Activate easily by dialing *100# using the Smart app or online. Smart Roaming Data Pass. Staying connected the smart way. Smart, bringing people together.
The future is calling. Belize Bank. Your future, our commitment.
When a child is asked to marry or live like an adult in an intimate relationship before turning 18, this is called child marriage or early union. Belize law states that no one under the age of 18 can get married. Even with the alleged consent of parents, it is illegal.
To learn more, follow us on Instagram and Facebook.
When your baby feels comfortable, you feel confident. Because every little moment deserves protection you can trust. Kushkin's diapers are designed with ultra-absorbent layers that lock in leaks while staying soft, dry, and gentle on delicate skin. So your baby can play freely, and you can enjoy every smile without worry. Kushkin's diapers, comfort they feel, protection you trust. Kushkin's diapers and wipes are available countrywide at a supermarket near you.
Practice by the moonlight. The young man climbed up to the highest diving board as he turned his back to the pool on the edge of the board and extended his arms out, he saw his shadow on the wall. The shadow of his body was in the shape of a cross, reminding him of the Christ who had died for his sins. Instead of diving, he knelt down and finally asked God to come into his life. As the young man stood, a maintenance man walked in and turned the lights on. Suddenly, the young man realized the pool had been drained for repairs and had no water in it. Embracing the Christ of his cross, his life had been changed for time and eternity. The cross can make a difference in your life too, if by faith you will reach out and embrace the Christ of Calvary who died there for your sins. Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
And welcome back. Joining us for our first conversation, albeit virtually, is the President of the Public Service Union, Dean Flowers. Good morning, Brother
Good morning.
Dean.
Hi, good morning, Isani. Good morning, Sabrina, and good morning, Belize. Thanks for having me and to give me the opportunity to participate in this discussion. No?
So, the topic of the day since Tuesday, actually, has been this controversial vote amongst the board members of BTL. Now, what's of interest is that the unions have been activated based on the outcome of this vote. Let's get your position first of all, and then we could get into the conversation proper.
Well, the position of the Public Service Union is certainly aligned with that of the National Trade Union Congress of Belize. I believe that from last year, we've made our position very clear that eliminating the competition that currently exists in the market is not an option and should never be an option. Also, if it is that BTL has an interest in SMART, then if you're in competition, then your job to study a competitor, your job to examine the current market share that you dominate, the services that you're providing, and if it is that you recognize that you're ahead of your competition, then it is for you to ultimately run your competition into ground. It is not for you to bail out your competition, and I think that is what we're seeing here. It's twofold. It's one, and I think the primary concern, of course, from other stakeholders is the elimination of competition, and that is a more legal argument because there is provisions in the law for that. But our position is simply that ultimately it doesn't matter how you coin this thing, Isani, whether you're buying assets, whether you're buying cash flow, you are setting up and risking pensioners' money in Social Security, because ultimately the assets that you're buying, which you refuse to tell us what they're worth, will ultimately need to be maintained. Yeah. And so we need to take that into consideration when we're considering this present value cash flow that they're speaking of.
Let's perhaps take the conversation to that very point that you're highlighting right now, Mr. Flowers. The investment in question that we are looking at is people are asking, what are the assets involved? There seems to be uncertainty. There seems to be no real identification as to what those assets are. Instead, it is said that we are purchasing cash flow and we're actually paying off this investment using that cash flow from SpeedNet. Based on what is being put forward, do you see this as an investment worth getting into, especially if it would essentially pay off itself?
Well, that's the thing. I think no prudent investor would say that it's worth getting into, because what we have so far is some type of valuation done by More Belize. And More Belize, of course, is part of a more global brand. But the reality is we were made to understand that these projections were done solely on one year projection. I think the BCCI is asking for 5 years, and for the financials also to be looked at for 5 years in terms of how SMART has been performing. So we don't know. We really and truly don't know. And even if they're saying, well, we are only buying the cash flow, but we don't know what the cash flow looks like. We don't know what the investments opportunities are or what the investment has been in the cash flow statement. We don't know what the operational costs have been, and we certainly don't know what the financing costs have been. All of those are demonstrated in the cash flow statement. And so we don't know what's the debt obligation that SMART has to the Belize Bank or any other financing institution. We don't know. And is it then that we're supposed to take Senator Lizaraga at his words and say, okay, 80 million in a 4.2 years. But what does the cash flow look like? Does that mean that that 80 million will be funding solely operational costs? Solely. And if it is funding solely operational costs, then what happens? Will there be does that mean that you will make absolutely no investment in SMART over the next 4 years? Does that mean that you will not be doing any financing, paying any loans in SMART over the next 4 years? At the end of the day, Social Security as a major shareholder still end up with the depleted or depreciated assets, brother. So it makes no sense to say to us that the acquisition will be financed solely by cash flows when we don't have the cash flow, we don't have the projections, and we certainly don't have the history of the cash flow statement. So I don't know not that I don't know. It is another example of the Belizean people being taken for fools. Konomono, as one past politician, Finnegan, would have said. That is it. I feel that the chairman, who once touted himself as somebody with integrity and wanting the best for the Social Security Board, for pensioners, for Belizeans, is taking us for a bunch of fools. My brother, when you want to get into business, you open the books, you disclose, and you be open and transparent. And I will say this. When you get a valuation done by a company and a firm who is also spearheaded by someone who is close to the administration, it also raises another alarm for us. So that's why we're saying, get one independent authority to do this thing, man, and just make we get this thing over with. Because I'm saying to them, if you believe this will blow over like one lee breeze, I am saying to them that I am a contributor in the pension in the Social Security.
Let's step back a bit. Let's step back a bit here, Dean, for a few minutes. In the first go round, when we were having this public conversation, it was about market size and the fact that SpeedNet and its product Smart cannot grow beyond a certain point because BTL overshadows it in every other aspect. That was the first conversation, right? Now, that seems to have been, how do I say? That part of the conversation gone quiet. Now they talk about moving ahead with an acquisition and discussing cash flow. How have we moved, in your opinion, from one to the other in terms of the overall conversation being had?
Could you rephrase that question for me, son?
I am asking you, or I'm basically saying, a few months ago when we had this ongoing conversation over this proposed acquisition, it was all about market size. And the fact that we were saying, okay, well, Smart can't grow beyond a certain point because BTL encompasses everything else, right? So I'm asking you, in your opinion, how did we go from having that conversation initially to now having this conversation about acquisition and cash flow?
Well, again, I think these are questions that would be best answered by the chairman of BTL, because I wouldn't be able to explain why the shift or how did they justify the narrative to justify this acquisition. And if it is, and this has been my position from the onset, when you look at Smart, we know, well, I think, because I don't know, but we would want to assume that Smart has provide a lot of service in rural communities. Now, Isani, I look at yourself and myself and people within the public service and perhaps in certain part of the urban communities as premium customers, meaning that we have a fixed expenditure with BTL. So in my case, I have a plan so BTL could guarantee that $280 for my group is coming in consistently, and if we of course do roaming, that will be there. But the customers that Smart may have, the customer base might be the man where they top up $5 here when he needs to make one call, or $2 the when he needs to make one call. So we don't know, and that's why I'm saying, look, if it is that this thing was above board, and then we would have known exactly what kind of money Smart really did generate. And let's not fool ourselves. The reality is that Smart have offloaded most of their senior managers into the public service. That's a fact. And they have offloaded several of their executives in a BTL. That's a fact. So with the same company where they try shed and get rid of some major expenditures. And let me put this in. Immediately after taking office, there was a deliberate attempt by the Bishenu administration to siphon off business from government in BTL to Smart. They started with the Microsoft 3 million bid, which was not above board, which was taken to court, and the court said it was a shameful act. As a matter of fact, they had to give back the thing to Smart because they couldn't, to BTL, sorry. Smart had to give back that contract to BTL because they weren't able to provide the service for the government. And then we saw ministers like Osmond Martinez, we saw CEOs like Valentina Schall, who are amongst the first. We saw the Ministry of Health in Kevin Bernard moving business from BTL to Smart. This is to inject, and who knows, was this then to simply create an illusion and to create the kind of cash flow that they needed to not come to the Belizean people with this nonsense?
Are you referring to where some of the government departments have shifted numbers from a regular BTL number that had been in use years prior to moving to Smart? Is that what you're referring to?
That's exactly what I'm referring to. The movement, the shifting of telephone services from BTL to Smart to provide or to create a buffer for Smart to succeed. And that's why we're saying, brother, they set up the Belizean people, and no matter how to twist this thing, both cash flows versus assets, at the end, those assets will need to be maintained. Those assets will need to be serviced, and expansion and investment will need to occur in those assets. And that's where we may find that it's not a good deal for the Belizean people.
Let's talk about concerns regarding monopoly, because if you only have two players in a market, one is clearly smaller than the other. So the larger player is pretty much merging the smaller one into its fold. Now you only have one player in the entire market. For average people who are using their services, they want to know if the monopoly system works in their favor, or if people could just decide, yo, you know what, this is what we're going to do, and you just have to live with it. What are your thoughts?
Mm-hmm. And that is the exact thing that will happen, Isani. I have been living in Belmopan for the past 15 years. BEL has never sent me a bill over $80 in almost 15 years. As soon as BL come up with this stupidness of smart meters and then acquire this idea, I am now paying BL almost $140 a month for the past 2 months, my brother. And for 15 years, I have never paid more than $80. So I don't have a choice. What I want to do? Tell them cut out my light, then I don't have any electricity. So of course, the poor consumers will suffer once we revert back to a monopoly, because BTL, which is a private company, which again, in my humble view, operates similarly to every other private company, despite being publicly owned, who are not accountable to the people and government of Belize, can simply raise rates on us. And then what happens? What happens? And like I said, and I'm not speaking for the media, but as some of the media houses have expressed, if they know they sing the kind of tune what the government know want, they might start having some serious disruption in our services. And we already see it right now. It's only I pay if you want max plan, brother. And sometimes what they going, I can't. The service is really bad. I have an option at this point in time whether I want to switch over to Smart, but if Smart disappears, then I just have to accept that poor service, similar to what some of the cable company gives. I pay them for 30 days of cable services or internet services, yet I only get 27 or 26 days.
A couple questions I'd like to throw in here really quickly, Mr. Flowers. On the topic that you are mentioning right now, concerns that there may be changes to prices of services. The argument could also be said that that cannot take place without approval of the PUC. What do you say to that?
Well, again, this creates a whole broader and bigger conversation. we have to change the way we appoint boards, committees, and anything in this country. The PUC, while they may have competent people on the PUC, the reality is they answer to the Prime Minister. I have never seen a body not support any policy decision by the government that is appointed by the Prime Minister outside of Brother Gilbert Swazo, who would have ruffled some feathers when he did not agree with their position. And then we would have seen the so-called human activists quickly file and take him to court to file an injunction against releasing those things in the name of the Attorney General. So it gives no comfort.
Yeah.
We should take no comfort in the fact that we have authorities or oversight bodies overseeing these things when these people are politically appointed and politically handpicked. This is not a consultation about who's supposed to sit on the PSU. This time my boy, this time my girl, make we put them there. A clear example is the FIU, which has a new director and still has nothing to show. Absolutely nothing to show.
I also wanted to ask you, moments ago, you were highlighting some of the patterns or irregularities that you observed as a citizen, but as someone deeply interested in this topic, speaking as a leader of a union. I think of the common citizen who might just be tuning in to the regular news and perhaps not remembering some of those very details that you pointed out, where companies would have gone over to SMART and switched from BTL. I want to talk about consultation, because that was also a concern of the public in the earlier months, where people felt that they did not have enough information on this deal being put forward. Was the PSU consulted in this matter? And can you speak on behalf of your other colleagues if there was any consultation that took place that could give further information on the deal and subsequently the voting process that took place yesterday?
Well, in terms of direct consultation, there was absolutely none. There was none, and I think that the Prime Minister has touted that throughout the process that the boards are, in his opinion, independent, even though there has been a need to reshuffle the boards to be able to reach to this point, which is a clear indication that the boards are not dependent. But direct consultation, there has been absolutely none. Has there been invitation for comments by the PUC after the initial attempt blew up in their face? Yes, and we would have provided comments to the PUC on why we do not support this merger of BTL and SMART. But there has been no meaningful consultation, and there has been absolutely no transparency in this process in terms of what we stand to benefit from this, outside of the rhetoric that is being put out there that, well, we're a service greater. We don't know. We have no statistics. It's just words without facts. And so I can say that is the extent of any input that the Public Service Union or the NTUCB would have had in this matter.
Brother Dean, while we wind down this conversation, my final question for you, and I know it's perhaps very early on into this second round, what's next for the unions in terms of their opposition to this proposed sale?
Well, I think there are several angles that the NTUCB must consider. If it was left to me, I believe in a people power. So I would have immediately move to the streets and to call on the Belizean people to take the streets. But the NTUCB is a little bit more diplomatic than me. And so from the NTUB standpoint, I think they're also looking at the legal aspect of it. And so I'm pretty quite sure, or I can say affirmatively, that they have engaged attorneys to look at the law, because of course there may be a breach to Section 42 of the Act now, of the Telecommunications Act. And so they're looking at that aspect. I believe they may now move more forcefully on that, because I think we would have moved as a Congress a little bit slow on that when we initially engaged a couple of attorneys. So I think that might be the first move for the NTUCB, given that the culture of Belizeans and the culture of the working class under the NUCB brother seems to be that we're afraid for the pavement, we're afraid for the sun. We're afraid, it would appear that way. I mean, but it's not only the working class under the NUCB brother. I think it's just the culture of Belizeans that we simply don't like to sacrifice. We don't like to sacrifice, and we don't understand that when we don't sacrifice, we stand to lose much more than we lose when we're sacrificing.
All right. Well, Mr. Flowers, thank you so much for your time, sharing what is taking place right now and why Belizeans should care about this recent voting that took place yesterday. We look forward to catching up with you and your other colleagues from the unions in the near future.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, and pay attention, Belize, stay awake, and please do not allow your retirement funds to be placed at risk, and do not believe the lies that at the end of the day, your money will not be risked. It will be risked because those depleted and dilapidated and depreciated equipment will need maintenance within the next 2, 3, or 4, or 5 years. Thank you very much.
All right.
All right, we take a quick break now, but don't go anywhere. Our next topic of discussion is one those families preparing for back to school might appreciate. We'll be talking back to school relief. The Belize Tax Service Department breaks down tax-free days.
Need a fresh new kitchen, flip that switch ignition. GE appliances shine. Every knob, every line, all align and turn the shower on. Feel gold, cooler in the chrome. So bold from the tiles to the tiny screws. We've got the wow you choose. All in one place, Design Depot. Everything you need for the life you want. Let's go! From the floor to the paint to the patio glow. Build it up, light it up. Watch your dream home grow. All in one place. All in one place. All in one place. All in one place. All in one place.
Design Depot. All in one place.
Insurance fact. Did you know with Home Protector Insurance, home and property insurance does not only cover hurricane and fire? Your lifetime investment will also be protected from explosions, water damage, malicious damage, and more. So you can rest easy knowing your home is protected. Visit any Home Protector Insurance office near you to learn more.
The next station is not just a place, it's the vacation capital of the world. Mexican, Caribbean, the vacation capital.
We at Fulltech Systems understand that technology isn't just a tool, it's a game changer. At home, smart devices and AI are revolutionizing daily life. In education, tech is making learning more interactive and accessible for students and educators alike. For businesses and government, it's driving innovation, streamlining operations, and unlocking growth, leveraging tech for better services, infrastructure, and security. At Fulltech Systems, we help you thrive with cutting-edge solutions, partnering with leaders like Dell, HP, Microsoft, APC, Fortinet, Cisco, and Tomy. We deliver the right products for your needs, whether it's boosting efficiency, improving customer engagement, or scaling operations. Connect with us and let's drive innovation together. Fulltech Systems, your technology center, where you come for the price, but stay for the service.
Welcome back to Open Your Eyes. We're jumping into our second conversation. And as I mentioned before the break, this one's for the families preparing for back to school. So I imagine, Isani, you're going to be tuning in very keenly. And it's all about GST free days and giving Belizean families an opportunity to save on essential purchases while helping families prepare for back to school and other household needs. We are joined this morning by representatives of the Belize Tax Department. We have here with us Ms. Shirlene Coote. She's the Deputy Director General. We also have here with us Mr. Michael Reno. He is a training coordinator. Guys, thank you so much for joining us and welcome.
Thank you.
I can imagine people tuning in right now are happy to see you guys. They want to know when they want to get the 15th and ending, yes? Okay.
Yeah, well, we're happy to be here too.
Yeah,
I must say we're happy to be here to inform the public of the back to school tax-free days for 2026. Right?
Yes.
So we all know preparing for back to school could be costly.
It is costly.
So the government of Belize, with the Belize Tax Service, is temporarily removing the 12.5% GST on selected back to school items.
Yes.
So we're inviting parents, students, educators, mark your calendars, prepare your shopping list, because August 15th and August 29th, these are 2 Saturdays in the month of August, will be the 2 days that you can shop and save on your back to school items.
Quick pause. So in my introduction, I said it's back to school supplies and maybe household items needed. That is not included.
No, ma'am.
So this is no opportunity to buy groceries or none of that.
No.
All right. Perfect clarification right there. Because I know people let it save their grocery list for 15th, you know. All right. So with school supplies, what does that include? Anything related to school?
So I'll go through the list. So there is already exempted and a zero-rated list.
Okay.
These are things that are already, that does not have the tax already. So that would be things like notebooks, textbooks, school bags, pencils, crayons, pens, erasers. Those already, you can get those without the GST. Now the list that we have that was approved, these are the ones that you could actually take advantage of on those 2 days.
Okay.
So you're looking at things like pens, uniform materials, whether it be ready-made or the cloth to go and get those sewn, binders, folders, we're talking about markers, pencil sharpeners, calculators, scientific and regular, because we know we cater for both, all right? We're looking at scissors, folders, graph paper, typing sheet, rulers, Bristol boards, because it's not just for the students, we talk about teachers as well.
Yes.
All right. Correction fluid, or whiteout as we might know it. This time around, we added black footwear because we heard the cry last year. A lot of people talk about, oh, no put in tennis, blah, blah, blah. So we got the black footwear. So we know that high schools in particular would recommend that they use black shoe, black tennis.
It's part of the uniform,
yes,
really.
Yes, and even some of the primary school, if I'm not mistaken. So that is showing this time around. No other color, just the black footwear. All right. Tape. Brown paper, we know it's a thing in Belize. You cover your book, right?
Yeah.
So brown paper, and now we even see where they're like craft paper. There are other colors that they can use other than the brown.
Stylish, decorated ones.
So those are also added onto the list. Of lately, especially after COVID, you would hear schools recommend or ask that they bring liquid soap and so forth. So we throw that and sanitizer on the list. Yes, glue, geometry set, lunch kits, of course. And toilet paper.
Yes, I was going to ask that.
Yes.
Yes,
the toilet paper, right? And then finally, the new thing.
The most important thing.
Yes, the most important thing is the laptops.
Yes.
So the school will share a bit more about the laptops.
Yes.
All right. So recognizing how important technology is to learning, this is the first time laptops are being featured as part of the GST tax-free days. Okay? So how it operates, it's one laptop can be purchased per customer on the designated dates. So let me repeat that. One laptop could be purchased per customer on the designated date. So these are only on the 15th and 29th of August. So in order for this to benefit the parents, students, and educators, it is tailored for. We ask that businesses partner with us. And when I say partner with us, it's because we have special criteria that goes hand in hand to ensure that these reach the people that they are designated for. So for the customer, you would need a copy of your social security, a valid Belize social security card, or your Belize passport. Right? for the business owner, we need for them to partner with us to ensure that this thing goes smoothly. So what we need for them to do for us, when they get a sale, one, they take note of the verification document, the ID. They document the customer full name, the identification, the ID number, the invoice number that they're issuing, the date the purchase occur, the laptop brand and model, the laptop serial number, and the selling price. Now, a key thing that I need to mention is that when they're selling these laptops, it's important for the invoice to say clearly, GST free, back to school, free day 2026. Right?
I have a quick question, Ms. Good. We can a tablet? Does tablet qualify?
Laptops.
Only laptops.
Yes.
Schools ask for tablets too?
Yes, they do.
Oh.
Yes, they do.
Maybe
but that's why they
take into consideration for next year.
Yes, because like Ms. Goodman mentioned, laptops were not on the list this last year.
Yeah.
So,
but I think it really goes to show how times have changed, you know?
Yeah.
Laptop or tablets, as you described, now being on a school list.
Correct.
We are evolving from notebooks and pens to now digital, classrooms as well. I'm also thinking of the general person going to the stores on the 15th and the 29th. Do they have to provide anything to say that they are purchasing these items for schools? Do they have to be a parent? Do they have to be a teacher? Do you have to present some type of ID or proof?
Not necessarily, only if they're purchasing the laptop. Those criteria exist only for the laptops because we don't want the sale of the laptops to be taken out of context. People purchasing them in bulk. The idea is these laptops are for our children.
Yeah.
So we have to keep that in mind. So that's the only purchase that they would need a specific identification when they're purchasing. And when I say identification, I mean their identification.
Yeah.
So it's not a case whereby Isani is going to go purchase a laptop but is taking your ID and showing it. It has to be a valid ID for Isani.
I think one of my primary questions, and excuse me, it's a concern that a lot of consumers have whenever there's a GST-free activity, is enforcement to ensure that some of these businesses are actually complying with these costs and what have you per item. Can you speak on that?
Right. So for when it comes to our compliance aspect, we will be doing post-event checks, and that's the reason why we're requesting that the business owners that are selling these laptops that they document this information, because we will be doing inspections.
Yeah.
And when it comes to the sale of the other items, those automatically should be documented because those form a part of their monthly filing. Remember, they still need to file their GST return by the 15th of September. So those need to be filed. And a quick note, as you mentioned, that when it comes to the business owners, and they're selling these laptops on the 15th and the 29th, what the department is requiring from them is for they to submit those summaries before the tax day, which is September 15th.
Yeah.
So any laptop that is sold on August 15th, that summary should be submitted to the department by the 29th of August. And any laptop that is sold by the 29th of August should be submitted by the 4th of September. So it would be 2 days that they'll be submitting, the 21st of September and the 4th of the 21st of August, I'm sorry.
Yes.
The 21st of August and the 4th of September, right?
This isn't the first tax-free blessing, I'll call it, that households have experienced. I remember when it started last year or 2 years ago during Christmas time, and it was a storm. Everyone, they were rushing to the stores trying to get their hands on those items that were tax-free. What are some advice that you'd give to families at this time preparing for these dates coming up?
Definitely take advantage of it. We know that not everybody have it like that, and we know the times that we're living in, so take advantage of it. Be mindful of the person behind you, of course, and just take advantage. That's all I could say. Take advantage of it. Do so knowing that your child will go back to school. that they need these supplies. So take advantage. But just to share a bit on what Ms. Coote had already said, in addition to with the compliance, we also have the numbers. So if at any point you notice that these businesses are taking advantage of you, call in, let us know, right? Because we don't want it to be a situation where we're setting the precedence of what we want, and yet these businesses are still taking advantage. We don't want that. And above all, check your receipt. We can't stress that anymore. Check your receipt. See to it that those items that I listed, that they're actually, the GST was actually being removed, as well as for the laptops.
Yeah, all right. Well, as we wind down the conversation, I know a lot of people at this time are going to be looking forward to the 15th and 29th. I encourage you guys to take a look at the list that was on screen earlier. Is there any way that people could have that list on hand?
Sure.
Is it on the website?
Yes, it's on the website and it's on our Facebook page.
Okay,
so they
got
could
it.
visit our Facebook page and it has the full listing of everything there.
All right, and remember, toilet paper is included, laptop included. I might not have to go back to school, but I could get GST-free toilet paper, so I'll take advantage of that as well. And to all the families, we wish you guys all the best on the 15th and the 29th as you prepare your children for back to school. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us, and we look forward to having you guys back very soon. Hopefully Christmas.
Hopefully,
just throwing it out there, All right.
Christmas. But just quickly, I'd just like to say on behalf of the government of Belize and the Belize Tax Service, we would like to wish each and every student a successful school year.
Yes. All righty. Thank you very much.
Too.
So we got to take a quick break now, but don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to keep the topic on empowering our youth, but a very interesting one. We'll be switching into inclusion through BCVI'S Summer Camp for blind and low vision youth.
Every business starts with a vision. And everyday Belizean entrepreneurs are turning that vision into reality.
Hi, I'm Rosalie, General Manager of Cards and Merchant Services at the Belize Bank. Today, I am proud to introduce our new solution designed specifically for Belize's small and medium-sized businesses.
Introducing the Belize Bank Advantage MasterCard SME Business Credit Card. Whether you're managing everyday expenses, purchasing inventory, or investing in growth, this card gives your business the flexibility to move forward with confidence. Applying is easy. Visit any Belize Bank branch and speak with one of our SME officers. We'll help you find a solution that best fits your business. Your business is building Belize's future. Let Belize Bank help power what's next.
Need to submit your sickness benefit claim online and have a physical medical certificate? Here's how you can do it. First, go to ssbportal.org.bz and log into your My Social Security account. Next, on your dashboard, click Benefits and choose Forms. Review the requirements, then click Continue to proceed. Click Apply under Sickness Benefit to start your claim. Review and confirm your banking information. If it is not correct, select No and follow the steps to update your banking details. If your banking information is correct, select Yes. Next, if your illness is not related to an injury at work, select No and proceed to upload your medical certificate. Select your claim period and confirm your employer details. Read the declarations and click each to agree. Click Submit and you're done. A confirmation email will be sent to you. Your employer will also receive an email with your claim details and a request for your salary information. If needed, submit your sickness benefit claim online and receive real-time status updates.
Her phone, her laptop, her whole life in this apartment. If anything happens, it's more than just a loss. It's everything. RF&G Renters Insurance helps protect what matters most, even when you don't own the place.
Life moves fast. Your connection should keep up. Need more credit? More data? A flex bundle that fits your lifestyle? With Smart Prepaid, they're a prepaid option for every lifestyle and budget, making it easy to stay connected wherever you are. Because with Smart Prepaid, you can connect on your terms. Purchase credit, data, flex bundles, prepaid plans, and all your favorite prepaid services at any smart agent, smart showroom, or simply dial *100# key. No stress, no waiting. Just fast, easy, convenient ways to stay connected every day. Smart Prepaid. Connect on your terms.
Running a business means every dollar counts.
As a business owner, you face different challenges every day. You need cash flow on hand as soon as you can.
With Belize Bank's same-day settlement, transactions settled by 4 p.m. are credited the very same night.
The same-day settlement will definitely make a difference for my business because I know I have money in the bank so I can pay my suppliers, my staff, etc.
Faster access to your funds, better cash flow, greater control. And with auto settlement, it's done for you every day. Same-day settlement from Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.
Life sounds better with JBL. Whether you're relaxing, working out, or getting the party started, there is a JBL speaker or headphone made just for you. Enjoy powerful JBL pure bass sound with the new JBL Tune 530BT and Tune 730BT wireless headphones, delivering all-day comfort and long-lasting battery life. Take your music anywhere with the compact, mighty JBL Go 5, built to keep the beats going. Ready to party? Turn every gathering into an unforgettable experience with the JBL Party Box on the go. Essentials too, or go even bigger with the all-new JBL Party Box 330, packed with booming sound, dynamic light show, and endless entertainment. Get yours today at Cellular World and get a 1-year warranty from the authorized JBL distributor.
So it started off like any other summer day in Belize. I decided to go down to Builders Hardware since I heard they had 25% off on summer outdoor products. I got a couple of items, a chair, a grill, a cooler, and I got carried away, but the prices were so good. But anyways, I might have gotten comfortable, maybe too comfortable. Then I saw the news, man, the hurricane season was not playing with me. But thank God Builders also had 25% off hurricane preparedness items as well. Flashlights, batteries, sealant, first aid kits, everything I need. And guess what? My grill survived.
KTV The Remix Season 8 is bringing the heat every Tuesday night. Experience Belize's biggest singing competition live from the Bliss as your favorite contestants battle it out on stage with unforgettable performances. The show starts at 8 p.m. sharp, so don't be late. Get your tickets today at Greater Belize Media on Coney Drive or 88 Shopping Center and come be a part of the excitement. KTV The Remix Season 8, where Belize's next superstar takes the stage. See you every Tuesday at 8 p.m. only on GBM.
Life moves fast. Your connection should keep up. Need more credit? More data? A flex bundle that fits your lifestyle? With Smart Prepaid, they're a prepaid option for every lifestyle and budget, making it easy to stay connected wherever you are. Because with Smart Prepaid, you can connect on your terms. Purchase credit, data, flex bundles, prepaid plans, and all your favorite prepaid services at any smart agent, smart showroom, or simply dial *100# key. No stress, no waiting. Just fast, easy, convenient ways to stay connected every day. Smart Prepaid. Connect on your terms.
Excellent. Great job.
Now, I'll tell you, Isani, we didn't even expect all of that this morning, but for persons just trickling in, we are talking about BCVI's summer program, and what you just witnessed was a beautiful dance performance, just one of the activities coming out of this year's summer program. We are joined this morning by Ruth Thompson. She is a rehabilitation field officer, and Maria de la Luz Vasquez, also a rehabilitation coordinator representing BCVI's. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us, and what a treat that was.
Yes, and thank you guys for having us. We really appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Well, it is summertime, and you know, just this morning I was talking to Isani about activities that are taking place and what he has his son doing at this time. But we cannot forget to mention that there are many other persons, children with various disabilities, who would also like to take part in summer activities as well. And BCVI is known to have these summer programs throughout the past few years, at least, as far as my memory can serve me. And you continue to build upon these programs throughout the year as well. Tell us a bit about what we just witnessed, first of all, and how that accompanies the many other things that you guys are doing at BCVI.
Okay, let me start first that this is a practice that we did after our daily activities.
Okay.
So we're talking about 40 minutes of real practice that we did.
Okay.
Teacher Ukan was the one that guided them. So they actually heard the music, and that's how they're guided by different cues. For example, when the music stops, they know that they need to bow. So all of these are inculcated in a practice with them. So the music is originated from folkloric one. It's also mestizada. So that's something that they enjoy doing. Their clothing as well is also a mestizada. So I am glad that one of the males also joined us, because he said yes at the first time that we asked them.
Yeah. So you guys would practice the dance after your activities throughout the day. Why did you guys decide to do that instead of just closing off summer camp for the day? You know, putting a dance in there too.
Yes, most of our dancers are campers. They actually are staying at our Nazarene facilities. So they said after we're gonna just rest a little while, and then here we go, and that's where the energy kick in.
Oh, so that's the after party.
Yes.
Really.
What are some of the activities that you guys are doing, and how different are these activities to cater to these kids' visual impairedness?
Well, throughout the year, we normally assess our or the kids' development, how they're doing in school. Not all of them are fully blind. Like, we have low vision children, so we work with them on their education, bringing them up to speed so that they can progress into the next year. For the ones that are legally blind or have limited sight or blind, we would teach them Braille to actually read and track. That's how we're tracing. That's how we call what reading for them is, okay? And for the older kids, once they've learned their basics, how to spell, how to write, how to read, we move on to computer lessons. We have a program called NVDA, and it's a computer program that talks back to them. They can't use a traditional mouse. So we would teach them keyboarding skills. I know older Belizeans would know EDP&M skills.
Yes.
So we incorporate all of that in our program as well. We have other activities. It's not all learning and schooling. We had a trip to the museum. We have a drumming presentation, and we have a field trip. So we try to fill it with as much fun, as much learning. We also bring them together so that they can socialize, so that they can form a community, so that other parents, and we have a lot of volunteers, can come together and assist them however they can.
I just want to understand properly. So you guys were stationed at the Nazarene?
Yes.
The Nazarene, and this is a day camp, yes?
Yes, it's a week camp, and each day we have different activities. Usually in the morning we gear for educational. Each one of them have a individual educational plan, so it's not only maybe just Braille or NVDA, but because of maybe their low vision, they are lacking maybe English skills, so we prepare these beforehand for them.
What was the turnout this year for the summer camp? How many kids did you guys work with this year?
We have 18 kids in the summer camp this year, and this is countrywide. We have PG, we have Belize City, Orange Walk, Corozal, the Keys as well, Cayo. Yes. So
how important is this activity for engaging children with this particular disability? If you look at summer camps across the country, most people are catering to people who are able. Maybe you want to run, you want to learn to swim, you want to do physical activities and what have you. But with this particular impairment, they may not be able to get involved in that level of activity. How important is this nonetheless?
Okay, let me add on that we do have physical activities with them, and they actually, it integrates a whole new system for us, but we try to make it fun-filled, not only for the kids, but for the parents and also the volunteer and us as staff. It's each year is a new experience. We get sometimes the last year's kids, sometimes it's the new one. The Braille system, it starts from 5. So that is what's new, that education is inclusive in that. Education, and in the afternoons it's social events. Going to the museum, going to the movie. So we're going to the movie too.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yes, and then a field trip.
Okay.
Yeah. So everything is included in that as well.
As you mentioned, there are families that are also involved. Ruth, have you been able to interact with some parents or guardians and hear their feedback on what a summer camp like this means to them?
Oh, it means the world that their kids can participate in something so fundamental in their childhood.
Yeah.
Because we all remember going to some activity during the summer, some trip with our families, so we try to give that experience. And I encourage them to document their kids' development, how they're progressing. In the program, we also have the parents participate in the learning for the kids, because then they take those skills at home and continue the lessons at home as well. So we try to not only gear for in the moment, but long term as well.
Now you mentioned a movie showing.
Yes.
And for the common folk tuning in right now, they might say, but how do you go about experiencing a movie if you cannot see? How does that work?
Auditory sense. They follow along. So let's include that as well. So because they enjoy the movie and they laugh about it, so it's all in there for them. So
what movie did they go on and listen to?
They have been going on to different movies, and throughout the years, it's mostly like motivational movies and things like that.
Well, you said that the summer program was a week long. Has it completely wrapped up at this time?
No, it's ongoing.
It's still going.
So this
it started this week.
Yes.
So we're halfway through. Yes. What else can they expect to experience throughout the course of the week?
Okay, the field trip. They're looking forward for the field trip, and this is where I would like to thank the donors for actually giving us the place to go.
Where are you going this year?
We're going to Orchid Bay.
Oh, lovely.
Yes, in Corozal. So we have clients way from PG that haven't been to Corozal. So they're saying, oh, we're going from a point to point. So which is really, really good that they're excited about it. So the donors make everything possible for us.
I think that's very important to mention, because for a lot of families who have diversely able children, they also come from low-income backgrounds as well. And for people who might not be aware, BCVI operates from donors primarily. And so many of the services that these families would get to have comes either at a fraction of the cost or completely free. Could you speak to that, the work that you guys do that relies on the service and the donations of other people and companies?
So this isn't like a 1 month or 2 month thing. We are actually fundraising from the beginning of the year, from January. We send out letters, we physically go and hand in letters as well, emails or phone calling. You know, we appreciate all donations. It may not be monetarily, but in the food or in transportation, in other services, like the museum was so kind to allow us, you know, a free tour with all our kids.
Yeah.
They made it accessible. They had tactile tools. The kids were touching jade and stalactite and all those other things. So we were really appreciative of that.
I'm curious. What is the excitement that comes along with these activities for someone who may not be able to enjoy it visually? So we're sighted. As kids, if they said, you know what, let's go to the museum, my excitement would be being able to see all of these artifacts, right? In some cases, you're not able to touch it because they're behind a glass enclosure, but you can see it. You're taught why these items are important and where they fit into society and what have you. But for someone who may not be able to see it, how do they, from your experience with them, how do they build that excitement?
Okay. It starts first by they knowing that they will be touching. So there are some items that they touched and they had to wear gloves. So it was a unique experience that not us with sight won't be able to appreciate.
So they get a special experience.
Yes, special experience, because some of the bottles have embossed on them, so they would be able to touch those. Also touching, hearing the birds. So they had an audio for the birds as well. So that, you know, they can relate to home. So actually with no sight, but all of the other senses of touching, even smelling and things like that are open much more.
They rely on their other sensory abilities, but you know, it's really nice to know that they're having this exclusive experience that regular visitors like you and me, Isani, they're not give we that, you know, and so that's really nice. Well, as we wind down the conversation, I know that you guys mentioned that you're sending thanks to your donors, but are you still open to getting donations from people, even though we're halfway through the week already?
Yes, we are, because we actually, a brailer is very expensive.
Okay.
So all material that we use for rehabilitation is actually free of cost to our clients. So we actually are inviting donors. If you haven't done so, you are welcome at any time to donate, maybe for buying, purchasing of brailers, slates, and things that we need for rehab. Because when they go back to school, they will be needing the brailer as well.
All right. Well, thank you very much, ladies, for joining us, and also thank you for that very special performance that we enjoyed earlier. We are going to take another quick break, but don't go anywhere. When we come back, we have one more conversation to look forward to. It's all about protecting our national animal, the Belize Tapir Project's conservation efforts.
Her laptop, her whole life in this apartment. If anything happens, it's more than just a loss. It's everything. R&D Renters Insurance helps protect what matters most, even when you don't own the place.
Before our grid reached across Belize, it was built by generations of Belizeans committed to connecting communities and powering progress. Through the hands, the dedication, and the vision of our people, the grid grew with Belize. A nation built through strength and resilience, and a network built pole by pole. Today, that responsibility continues, strengthened by every hand that follows. Each generation building on the last, and carrying forward a shared responsibility, serving communities, powering schools, hospitals, businesses, and homes. Supporting a nation that continues to grow. Belize Electricity Limited. Built to serve, serving Belize.
Hi,
Hi, my name is Megan, and I'm a civil engineer here at M&M Engineering. Behind every successful production process in our factory come quality materials, skilled employees, and reliable equipment. Specifically, rebar and pre-stressing cable from Benny's, which are the building blocks of our products.
Not all rebar and steel are created equal. At Benny's, quality is savings because building with trusted materials means building stronger, safer, and longer.
Through Benny's Enterprises and Banquet, M&M Engineering has access to the highest quality products and heavy-duty machinery that help us improve efficiency, maintain productivity, and provide the most reliable solutions to our clients.
Best for you and best for me. At Benny's, it's the quality. Benny's, quality and savings.
The next station is not just a place. It's the vacation capital of the world, Mexican Caribbean. Do you know why we are the capital of vacations? Because no other place on earth brings together so many ways to vacation in one single destination. Every vacation imaginable. Mexican Caribbean, the vacation capital.
G appliances shine. Every knob, every line, all align and turn the shower on. Feel gold, colder in the chrome. So bold from the ties to the tiny screws. We've got the wow you'll choose. All in one place. Design Depot. Everything you need for the life you want. Let's go. From the floor to the paint to the patio glow. Build it up, light it up. Watch your dream home grow. All in one.
And welcome back. Joining us for our final conversation this morning is Dr. Celso Port. He's the Managing Director and Founder of the Belize Tapir Project. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sabrina and Isani.
How you doing?
Good.
It's nice to have you.
Thanks for having me. Always a pleasure to share about our national animals.
So we know you from Belize Zoo. So this new founder of the Belize Tapir Project is new to me, right? Well, so my first question, Doc, tell us about the Tapir Project.
So the Belize, I started the Belize Tapir Project back in 2008.
Okay, so it's been around a while.
When I began noticing an increase in tapir vehicle collision. At that time, Burrell Boom was the road that most people know tapirs were being hit by cars. And I actually did my master's degree around reducing the impact of vehicle collisions on tapir population in that area, and was able to get the Ministry of Works back then to adapt some wildlife crossing signs, particularly those with the tapirs in that area, to alert drivers. I spent some time on the Burrell Boom Road socializing with the users of the road that tapirs use the road at night. You need to be aware, slow down. Speeding was a big problem. People were driving 75, 80 miles an hour at night. And I use a radar gun, so.
There you go.
There you go.
Now we know.
So we do, so we were able to do spot speed surveys, so where these hot spots were, and then make recommendation for the wildlife crossing signs. So in the road ecology, you could address the animal behavior, you could address the people behavior. Normally, the animal behavior is very expensive because you have to do underpasses, signs, fencing. People behavior, you need communication campaign, and so we've been doing that over the years.
Since the starting of that project, how has the collisions with the tapirs reduced?
They have reduced in certain areas, but because more people are reporting it now, we're seeing that Tapir vehicle collision is not just in the Burrell Boom John Smith Road. It's across the country on the Hummingbird Highway, on the Southern Highway, on the Coastal Plain Highway. So not only tapirs are getting hit, other species are getting hit. But because tapir is our national animal, or the jaguar is the more charismatic species, those are the ones that hit the media.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of other species that are getting hit by cars on the road on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So talk to us about this particular initiative with the 2 tapirs that you have. You mentioned the name of the first one. Just say, when we talk tapir, I think April, right? She was the ambassador for all tapirs, right? But there's a new one that you're working with.
Well, Frederick.
There it is.
Frederick was named by the community in Blue Creek.
Okay.
January 16th at around 6 a.m. I received a call from a family that a tapir appeared in their yard, and it looked disoriented.
Yeah.
And so I asked them to check it out, and they checked it out, and there's like, wow, it has a lot of wounds, a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
And I said, check, see if you see any like maggots or anything like that, because screwworms, the real threat.
Yeah. That's him on screen.
That's Frederick. A couple days after getting treatment, started to eat again, and that's Frederick after 2 months rehabilitation. The family in Blue Creek, they provide all the food. The community of Blue Creek provide all the food for Frederick. We from the Belize Zoo and the Tapir Project would go up to Blue Creek on a weekly basis to provide the veterinary care that it needed. And after 2 months, we were able to fit a GPS collar on Frederick.
As we can see there as well.
Yes, and then we return Frederick back to the wild, to the Rio Bravo Conservation and Management Area. And so if you see this photo, the skin well healed, all the wounds well healed, and Frederick has been out there telling a story using the GPS collar.
And also probably attracting attention. Frederick came out, went back in the wild with jewelry, you know?
Yeah, so what we're seeing here now is the movement of Frederick in the Rio Bravo Conservation and Management Area and the Belize Maya Forest Trust. So 2 of the larger protected areas in northwestern Belize is where Frederick has been readapting to life. We kind of believe it came from the Rio Bravo Conservation and Management Area because of the proximity to Blue Creek in Orange Walk where it was. And so we got permission from the Forest Department to rehabilitate it. We got permission to release it back into the wild, and then we work with Program for Belize to get it back into the Rio Bravo Conservation and Management Area. It was a big team effort. We had the Belize Wildlife Referral Clinic. Dr. Isabel and her team were also along with us providing the care that Frederick needed.
I imagine
when we talk about animals in the wild, we talk about large expanse of land that they need to be able to roam and forage and whatever it is that animals in the wild do. I'm curious to find out how much land space does a tapir need to be able to move around? Just looking at the pattern that Frederick was moving.
So what we see there from Frederick is just the steps he made, right?
Yeah.
So we know they look on the landway he used, we just look on the path he traveled. When you look at that path and using the GPS data, he has traveled about 125 kilometers since we released him.
Wow.
So that's the movement back and forth across the landscape. In the past, because most of the research was done using VHF telemetry, so they put on a lead collar on you, and then you go out there and you track it, you triangulate it, you try to figure out where the animal was. It was estimated that tapir were using about 2 kilometers square of land space.
Yeah.
With technology, with GPS collars in Belize, my colleague Dr. Wilbur Martinez from the Foundation for Wildlife Conservation showed that tapirs then they use between 8 to 12 kilometers square. And colleagues in Mexico show that where resources are scarce, they could use up to 24 kilometers square.
Wow.
So Frederick, going back into the wild, is giving us information that we can use with future relocation of tapirs. We know like what they need. One of the things we have to make sure they have the water.
Mm-hmm.
You know, water is an important part. Tapir poop in water.
Okay.
At the zoo, you could just clean the water pond and the tapir then walk in there and they need that to do their thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Kind of remember like hippos. But
So there are two things. We think one is physiology, they need it for their body, but the next one is adaptation. They poop into the water so they could mask their scent from predators.
Ah. Based on the research, Mr. Putt, that you guys were able to do so far on tapirs, what would be the reasoning that they would move from the wild into these areas like the Burl Boom Road that you spoke of? Because I've also spotted tapirs while going out of Burl Boom as well.
Well, Belize is developing, and tapirs are, you find them from southern Mexico all the way down to northern Colombia. So you find them from sea level, like in the Ladyville area, all the way into the mountains 3,000 meters above sea level. This species of tapir that we have, the Belize, the Central American, the Tapirus bairdi, the scientific name. So they're well adapted, but what we're seeing in Belize is rapid development. And like you rightly said, you know, they need a large land space, they need expanse forests. And when we clear their home, when we clear the habitat, when we clear down the forests, then they need to move.
We're displacing them.
Right. And there are areas where we know tapirs are, and like at some point we would have to relocate those tapirs because more and more, like in the Ladyville area, there's so.
I've seen in Ladyville as well.
Right. They just have small patch of forest islands that they can survive. And so eventually those areas will develop and they'll have nowhere to go.
Yeah. So what do you do when you see a tapir roaming in Ladyville, or if you see them on the highway? You're not knock on down, but you wonder what's going to happen after.
Well, yeah, so roads are one of the biggest challenge to tapirs, not only in Belize, but in the region. And so what we the Belize Tapir Project has done is we've started a road ecology project. So we're collecting data on more than just tapir roadkill. We're collecting data on all wildlife that we can find on the highway. So it'll be a national survey. We have developed an app, and we will have a program where we'll work with different sectors to help us collect the data. So it's more like a citizen science project where you can take a photo of the roadkill and you'll have to give the GPS location of where it is. And we'll build this database because if you travel any of the highways right now in Belize, you'll see development, you'll see upgrade. We need to make sure that we have data to show that tapirs and other wildlife need access, so we need underpasses. And we know those things work because we have successfully recorded a jaguar and its cub using one of the underpasses on the coastal plain highway.
Nice.
That is the first recording of a jaguar cub using an underpass anywhere in Latin America.
Oh.
All right.
Right? So it's big success story.
Yeah, that it works.
But we need the science to guide the policy and the decision making. And so we have launched the Road Ecology Project, and we hope over a year to collect as much information as we can to help.
Do we have an estimate of the population size for tapirs in this country?
We don't. Tapirs are one of those species that they don't have any distinguishing mark like jaguars. Right? You can identify a jaguar from its unique patterns. Tapirs don't. We are able to identify tapirs in the wild after studying them for a couple of years because they might have a torn ear or they might have a uniquely white patch somewhere. But when you're using camera trap over large areas, that's the one tapir, and you have many tapirs out there, right? But researchers are working to develop techniques. One is the random encounter models. Then you use physics, like the movement of particles. So you use your photographic history from your camera traps. You got them spaced out, and then you use physics model to more or less give you an idea how many tapirs are moving in that landscape based on the photographic rates you're getting.
So my question, Doc, how do we know if these animals are threatened or they're next to being endangered in our country if we don't know the actual population size?
The modeling, the forest loss, the habitat that remain for them to survive. So every 3 years, the Tapir Specialist Group, the Species Survival Commission, and this global initiative, we meet and we look at the threats of tapirs in the region, the 4 different species of tapirs, right? And everybody, all the experts come together and we decide, you know, like what's the population trend like for your tapir species in your country. We've done exercises where we block out the country like in a pieces, and we say we got tapir here, we got tapir there. We look at the forest, we look at the resources, we look at everything. So there are ecological modelings you use to help with that. And our species, the Central American, is on a decreasing trend geographically. So from southern Mexico down into northern Colombia. 10 years ago, we estimated that there were about 5,000 mature individuals in the range. Right now, we're looking at about 3,500, right? And these are all models we use to estimate these population. Belize has a healthy population, I mean, but they are globally endangered. And so we have a stronghold to help other regions in the event that tapir go extinct and they would want to reintroduce them back if conditions become favorable for that.
How fulfilled are you with this project? You mentioned that it started in 2008. It's been over a decade now, and you still are working actively to develop this project, the Belize Tapir Project. Do you feel fulfilled?
It is. Especially we get calls like from people from Burrell Boom, right? One tapir in my yard right now. It eat mango. It okay, I just to make you know. So we're creating awareness. The idea is for people and wildlife to coexist, right? And when people learn and people get to appreciate, then they will also advocate to protect. And that is the goal that we hope to achieve over the years. And so we hope to provide the government, the policymakers, with the necessary data so that they can also support the work we're doing.
And you guys can only do so with the involvement of the rest of the citizenry, as you call it, the Citizen Science Project. Is the app currently available for downloading that we can input information?
The app is fully functional now.
Okay.
It's a progressive web app, so you don't need to download it from the App Store.
Okay.
You go to the website roadkill.bz.
Roadkill.bz.
And then you just pin it to your homepage.
Okay.
And it works like an app. Basically, you take a photo of the tapir or of whatever wildlife you find on the road. It forces you to give your GPS location because that is what we need. And then there are other entry you can make, like which highway, what that is species, if you could recognize it, and you submit that. But on the back end of that, we will be doing the work. We will be able to see which highway,
based on the
which
GPS,
animal. So, but we just need the data. You know, we want to make it something simple where a citizen can participate. You don't have to go create one account. You don't need to do a lot of other stuff what some of the apps they require you to do, right? And so we will then filter that on the back end and create this amazing data set to help wildlife. Later in November, we're having the first Latin America Congress for Road Ecology, and that's being held in Colombia. So this is where people from all over the world will come and share with us in Latin America what they're doing in terms of road ecology. We're way behind. We're way behind. We have, in North America, they have a lot of investment in overpasses. You know, we just start talk about underpasses, right? Overpasses are
much
mega
more
millions.
expensive.
Yeah, right?
Much more expensive.
So I think that a lot of learning will happen from that. I have shared our work regionally. Just last May, when there was a regional program for road ecology between Mexico, Belize, and Guatemala, because they're talking about the Tren Maya coming to Belize.
Yes.
So we want to make sure that the region have data to help with wherever that Tren Maya is going and make sure that we have mitigation in place for wildlife.
That's very true. Well, Mr. Putt, this has been an excellent conversation. I just want to remind our viewers again of the website, roadkill.bz, and that takes you to the application where you can input your GPS location and a photo of the animal as well.
You take the photo and it gives the GPS location. You don't need to input the GPS. The phone gives
Perfect,
it.
even better.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, thank you very much for the time you've taken, for the work that you continue to do as well. We appreciate it, and we hope that it really inspires other people as well to try to be a part of projects like this and do their part.
Thank you for having me.
All right, well, that does it for our show this morning. We have had wonderful conversations, and really we want to say thank you to all of our guests who's joined us, and also you guys for locking in and also taking part in the conversation. It is August 5th, and if you're celebrating a birthday today, happy birthday to you. If you'd like to give a birthday shout out, or if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can send us an email at oye@greaterbelize.com. You can also catch us on our social media pages. We have Facebook, that's Open Your Eyes BZ, Instagram for behind the scenes content, that's OYE Belize. We also have TikTok, that's openyoureyes.bz. And then you can call us or text us on our OYE phone number. That's 675-2555. But please do us a favor and join us again tomorrow when you open your eyes
to start your morning right.
Until then, be sure to keep your eyes, your mind,
and your hearts open.
Have a wonderful Wednesday. We'll catch you tomorrow. Bye.
Open Your Eyes was brought to you by the Belize Bank, our country, your bank, and SMART, bringing people together.